Welcome to this here thriving moment, brought to you by the Sovereign Light Radio Broadcast Anchor FM, and made also available on 6 other different platform distributions. Live from North York, Ontario, Canada, I am your hostess, Reverend Maria Arvana, and out of North York, Ontario, Canada, as well, our very special guest. Welcome, Kazem Bayat.
Welcome. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
Awesome. It's so nice to have you on here. And with this episode that you're here to join me and all of us to share your light and shine and inform us with wealth management, with a bachelor's of art in business administration, Kazem Bayat, born in Tehran, Iran. You know that place next to Turkey and Iraq? Okay, so he was born April 17th, 1970. And with his father's passing well over 40 years ago, Kazem was the youngest from 3 older brothers and 2 sisters. He is a 1993 graduate from the National University of Iran and studied for 4 years business administration. In January of 2001, his mother had decided to take him and with his sisters to Canada. He immigrating first to Montreal, Quebec, and in 2007, Kazem Bayat moved to North Africa and lived on his own in Ethiopia for almost 12 years before coming back to Canada. With Kazem's educational background and business knowledge, he was able to help the consultations and investments that went on in Ethiopia. Kazem's focus was mainly on import and export trading, on the ins and outs, international bidding with Ethiopia. In 2019, Kazem moved to Toronto with his sister, a restaurant owner, and where he helped out in any way he could, the odd jobs here and there that helped him to support his studies further and highly recommended education towards his license as an insurance broker. Kazem's journey to enlightenment is meticulously grounded and on just how much control we have over our money. Wouldn't you like to know this? Do you want to learn about the money you spend unknowingly and unnecessarily? How do we manage our wealth? Is it through education and transferred money, mortgages, major capital purchases, or perhaps it's taxes like we're coming into right now, or throughout the whole year for that matter? I know for personally, I have 4 different tax things that I have to deal with. How can we better park our money? And where is all this money at that we can find and put back on our tables? How can we swing the doors wide open to enhance our wealth? Join us this moment with Kazem Bayat and become empowered with how to utilize the many facets of insurance. Hello, my friend Kazem, and thank you for joining us here on this episode of Wealth Management.
Hi to everyone, and thank you very much for having me here. And like taking your time to talk to me about insurance and how to build the wealth.
And so, Kazem, where can, okay, so you studied at Concordia University and
Right.
studied, what does MIS stand for?
Well, MIS stands for Management Information System, and that's that's my background actually. Like I always studied management and business, and the MIS focuses more on restructuring your business every few years because everything changes in this world. So your business system is good to work for a few years. As the world changes, you do need to restructure your business system as well. That's the main focus on a management information system.
Wow, and how many years did you take this?
I studied for 4 years at Concordia University, and that was my second BA degree.
Did you have to learn French?
Well, because I migrated to Quebec first, yeah, I had to learn how to speak French because that was one of the qualifications I had to have in order to migrate to Quebec.
Well, Kazam, if you can you please tell us more about all the various types of insurances, and particularly the one that I'm concerned right now is with everybody in their health management to do with being able to travel and get flight insurance. I know for a fact that if you're a certain age, like my mother, I couldn't get her any insurance because she was over a certain age, and of course she had a lot of medical complications. Now with the COVID and the vaccines, and how are people able to, are they easily able to get flight insurance?
Well, let me start first a little bit about myself. As you explained, I'm just going to explain it again. My background was in business administration first. I got it in 1993. And then once I migrated to Canada, I decided to go back to school again to study something new. And then I chose to study MIS, Management Information System. And I really like the notion of management information system. As I explained, it was like restructuring your business structure, business system. So that can be applied to every single aspect of your life. We are living in a world that changes rapidly and dramatically. And as things are changing, we do need to structure everything. That led me to insurance because insurance is about like protection, and insurance about like protection when the world changes. So as the world changes, you do need protection accordingly. So one of the things that we have all gone through is COVID. COVID has changed our lives, the way we do business. And based on the changes that COVID brought to our life, we do need different protection. So the protection we had before may not be applied to COVID related things. So insurance is there to protect people like as the new challenges arise. So back to your question, when I moved back to Canada from Africa, I decided to go for a career change. And this time I decided to go and study for about insurance. When I studied insurance, I got to know a company that had a very different approach to insurance. And I decided to work with them. And then I decided to learn about their system. And it was about wealth circle. So in that program, I learned that as the world changes, again, we do need to have a different approach to things. And we do need to restructure everything. And one of the things that we do need to structure is our insurance, because every few years our life changes, and then we do need to go and like study and review our protection insurance products to see if those products can answer and meet those changes, because the main purpose of the insurance is to give us the protection, and this protection should be all the times there. As everything changes, this protection should be there. So I try to like have a different approach to insurance using that notion, which is to restructure your insurance products to make sure that you're all covered and protected.
This really amazes me how structure can become flexible like this.
Yeah, sometimes it's complex. It's complex because like you have, it's not just like your life insurance, it's all the protection. We are talking about your car insurance, your home insurance, your life insurance. But the most important thing that people uh, ignore to notice is that they insure their car, they insure the house, they insure the pets, they insure everything, their kids, but not themselves. The most important things in everyone's life is your life. If you're not protected, if you're not there, so no car insurance, no home insurance, no car, no home, no money, and the kids are all left alone without any protection, without any like a breadwinner. So the very first thing we say you do need to protect is your own life.
Even defamation, for defamation of character, and it really amazes me how they have insurance for that as well. Defamation of character, there's insurance on that as well.
Yeah, and then the things that I notice is that we usually don't believe that we go to hospital one day, or we get sick, or we die. We don't think that that's going to happen to us. It's usually happened to other people, but that's going to happen to every one of us. So we have to be prepared for like for things that we don't predict. So that's all about like that's what insurance is all about, to make sure that you're prepared for unpredictable.
To prepare for the unpredictable, including things like, I notice it kind of changes as we go, like identity theft is one of them.
Yeah, you see, like nobody could predict COVID gonna come. Nobody in the world, but it came and it changed our world. And a lot of people left alone, those who hit by COVID, because they were not like predicted, they were not prepared for that. So if they knew that they would get COVID or COVID would come, definitely they would prepare for that. Like the world as a whole was not prepared for that.
So what I'm getting at here is the structure that you build, which is people don't see that behind the scenes, how much work goes into this structure that you're referring to. But normally it just reflects on the goings on of humanity in our society. But what if we could just predict and do it beforehand, and then have that energy flow within that structure? How would we be able to be as front runners in that and be very successful, as opposed to just reflecting of what already has happened?
Well, you have to be like when it comes to that, you have to be like open to that. First, you have to accept the reality, and based on the reality, you have to take steps to protect yourself and your family. And that's where life insurance and all those products come handy. They like as I said, as the world changes, usually like insurance business tries to find an answer to protect people, because it's all about protection. So for the few first month when COVID hit the market, all the insurance companies were not ready. But then soon they started to work on it to bring the protection to people.
Okay. And are you able to tell us what company or you're working for, or how this insurance works?
Right now I'm working with uh, like Lori Varco Financial Services. I'm a brokerage there,
What's
but
that? Sorry.
Lori Varco Financial Services,
Okay.
and I'm a brokerage there. And then we are working on Circle Wealth. Circle Wealth is an American company that like is active in the States and in Canada. And what we do, we help people. I mean, we educate people how to protect their wealth. As you explained in the introduction, there are 5 areas that people lose money unknowingly and unnecessarily. And those areas are, one of the areas is taxes.
Right.
People, you lose money on taxes. And one of the areas is the mortgage. People lose money on mortgage. One of the areas is education. One of the areas is just like major capital purchases. It's all about where you park your money. And then once we give the education, we talk to people that you do need protection to protect yourself, your family, and your wealth. And there are a lot of ways to do that. And then we ask people, it's time to sit and review the protection you have, and then or decide if you ever need a protection. And that's sometimes people have protection, but it's not enough, or because things have changed, that protection needs to be restructured to make sure that in today's world, that protection is enough and we are protected.
So it kind of goes that way. The structure reflects where the energy is going.
Yeah, sometimes like, we have people, they need like protection, but they cannot afford it. So we cannot offer, we can tell them that, oh, you do need this protection and this protection is for you. But if they cannot afford it, morally, we cannot, like sell it. So it's all about, like education. First, we do need to educate people. What can happen that a lot of people don't know a lot about insurance, about protection, about what protection they need. So basically, we start with educating people, and we give this education for free because we do believe that people need to know what they need and what protection they need.
So,
Or
Kazem, if somebody wants to know more about what you offer and how you can help them, and they want to reach out to you, where would they go? Like you just mentioned that firm. How can they ask for you?
Well, I can leave my phone number, and if anyone needs any kind of help, I'm more than glad to sit and talk about this. As I said, it's just like education, and it's a free education. We do believe that in our company, we do believe that we do need to work on our belief system. That belief system can change our life. We should believe that we do need the protection. We should do believe that our family need the protection. We should do believe that the world changes. And if the world changes, that's not going to be the end of the world. We have to accept the changes. We have to adopt to them. And then we have to go and live accordingly. So that's all about our belief system.
What do you mean by when you say transferred money? What is that?
Transferred money is one of the like areas that we lose money unknowingly and unnecessarily. Let's take an example. Like, let's say you have a house and you have a mortgage, and you're paying for the mortgage, and the banks want you to like go faster and pay more, and just like to pay it off faster. We do believe that that's not a good option. We think that, let's say, if I make the rules for a game, who's going to be the winner? You or me? Definitely me, because I'm making the rules for the game that I'm going to play. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be the winner. You're not going to be the loser. So when it comes to mortgage, it's the same thing. Who's making the rules of that game? Banks. So they make the rules so that they will win at the end of the day. How? They want you to pay off your mortgage faster. Why? Because they get the money and they borrow this money, lend this money to someone else, and they make more interest. So that's why. But what happens to you? Why are you going to be the loser at the end of the day? Well, let's say you just think that you're doing the right thing and you're just going faster. You just want to pay off your mortgage faster. So once you give the money to the bank, and let's say COVID happens and you were not prepared for the COVID, and you do need cash because you lost your job, you don't have the income coming to your house, and you do need money because you have to pay for the mortgage, you have to pay for the car insurance, you have to pay for the kids, you have to pay for the food, you have a lot of bills, you have a lot of expenses to cover, and you need cash. You cannot go to the bank to say, guys, I paid faster. I need part of that money to be back to me because I have bills to pay, or I have like expenses to cover. So no,
Oh,
what you paid. What's gone out of your pocket is gone out of your pocket. The bank not going to put it back to your pocket. So that's not a good option because we talk about liquidity. You have to put your money where you can access to it at any time you need it. Let's say COVID happens, let's say something else tomorrow happens, and you need cash. Your money should be parked somewhere that you can have access to it immediately without any condition.
something just happened now with the Emergencies Act and GoFundMe and something to do with crypto coin. And what do you think about all of this now? Some people have their bank accounts seized and locked and closed. Let's say, for example, like you're saying, they were insured with you. What would happen? How would they get access? And they're right now been charged and they're in prison and they have no legal counsel because their bank account has been seized, yet they are insured with you, hypothetically speaking.
Well, it's actually a lot of information there, just not a simple question. But to to put it in a nutshell, make it simple, there are whole life policies with cash value on it. So you can contribute, and then the insurance company will get that money, invest that money, and get the dividends. So they go and buy some share at some companies, valuable companies, and that company gives you the dividend. And that dividend can be again invested to buy more whole life insurance. And that's a compound, it's like we have compound interest, and that's a compound interest. You just invest it, and then you earn more interest, more money. So you put it back, you make more money. And once this cash value is outstanding, the amount is outstanding, you can use it as a collateral. You can go either to the bank, and the bank accept that one, and you say, you know what, this is how much money I have in my whole life insurance, and I want line of credit. The bank is more than glad to give you the line of credit because you have something as a collateral. You have some belongings to you. You have some like assets Or you can go to the insurance company and say, I want to borrow some money. This is my whole life policy with cash value in it, and I want money right now. They give you that.
So if
No question,
so,
nothing.
so you're saying now they only get one call to make. They're in prison. That they should
Yeah,
call.
like you can have access to your money right away, or you can just put it in TFSA. TFSA is also like what happens, like as I said, it's a lot of question, like a lot of things involved. A lot of people go to RSP. RSP, you don't have access to your money until the age of 65 or 70, until you get retired. Yeah, you can have access to your money if you buy your home for the first time, or if you want to, what they call it, long learning, which you go to school, you can just take some amount from your RSP and then you can just return it back. But as a whole, you don't have access to your money until the time you get retired. That's not a good option. We don't think that's a good option. We recommend people to go for TFSA. TFSA is after tax money, and whatever you put in your TFSA and it's been invested, whatever it grows in your TFSA is tax-free, and you have access to your money right away, no question. So let's say anything like an emergency like happens, you do need money, and that's a good source to go and take the money.
The tax-free savings account.
Tax-free savings. That's one of the options. There are a lot of options already told you. So that's why people need education, because this TFS, like a RSP, was good 30 years ago. Not anymore. The world has changed. Actually, TFSA is like the RSP is like that is a tax deferred, like retirement saving account. Actually, the government tells you you can put your money there. They're not gonna like tax you on that money until you get retired. But then once you get retired and you start to take the money out, you have to pay the taxes. But everyone, if you go to the bank, as I said, the banks make the rules. When you go to the banks, you talk to the bank's employees, they say, oh, open the RSP. You put the money, when you get retired, you can take it out. And then you pay the tax when you get retired.
Okay. Do you have sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But like, let's say, who knows when I get retired? And they say like, today your tax bracket this much, hopefully when you get retired, your tax bracket goes down, but who knows? Maybe something happens, the government needs money and they increase the interest. They increase the taxes. So who knows, like when I get retired, what's going to be my tax bracket? We don't know. It's like we say, it's like I tell you, Maria, I'm going to give you, you need money. I'm going to give you, I'm going to lend this money, this amount of money. Definitely, I'm going to like charge interest, but I'm not going to tell you right now how much. Take the money, use the money. In 10 years, I'm going to tell you, after 10 years, I'm going to tell you how much interest I'm going to charge you.
Oh, wow.
Will you get that money? Will you accept that money?
No.
No, because you don't know. You don't know like how much I'm going to charge you at the end of after 10 years. So that exactly is with RSP. The government says, take this money, put it in RSP. You don't need to pay taxes on it, but it's a tax deferred. I'm going to tax you when you get retired. But who knows like what's going to be my tax bracket when I get retired? Maybe more, maybe less. We don't know.
Okay, well, have you ever thought about insuring or protecting those who have invested in the crypto market?
Well, crypto market is, first of all, crypto market is what we say, it's not a regulated investment. There's no regulation. There's no regulation around cryptocurrency. So you may lose, you may win, nobody knows. It's a very risky investment. That's why when it comes to insurance, we don't recommend that, because that's why we recommend the dividend. Dividend is more secure. that's why we don't recommend to park your money there, because it's very risky.
So it's like monopoly money, or like the Canadian tired money, right?
Yeah, because like when it comes to investment, because like investment is part of your portfolio. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. You don't put all your money in investment. Investment is
Right.
risky. You may lose your money. But if you are into investment, there are good investment options in insurance business. We call it segregated funds. It's like mutual funds. What the difference is that mutual funds, if you put your money there, you may lose it. If the market crashes, you will lose your money. Even you may lose your principal. But segregated fund, the difference that if you put it in the segregated fund, which is like insurance mutual fund, you can have the option to get the guarantee, like to guarantee 75% up to 100% of your principal. Even if the market crashes, your principal is there. The insurance company will guarantee that you get your principal even if the market crashes. You don't have this guarantee in mutual fund. In mutual fund, you may lose your whole principal.
You know,
So
Kazem,
that's one option. And then also there are more options. Let's say I put $100 or $100,000 in segregated funds, and I want 75% or 100% of my $100,000 be guaranteed if the market crashes. So if I make money, if the market is good and I'm making money, it's okay. So next year, my $100,000 becomes $120,000. And if I want it, I can get that $120,000. But let's say if the market crashes and it goes to zero, I still have my $100,000 there. I've not lost my principal. And what more, let's say next year, my money becomes $120,000. There's a reset option. I can tell insurance company that I want to reset my principal at $120,000. Now my principal becomes $120,000. So the insurance company will guarantee $120,000. So you can reset your as you make money, you can reset your principal. So that's an option in insurance that you don't have it in mutual fund or elsewhere. As you're talking about cryptocurrency, you may lose your whole money in cryptocurrency. You may make money, a lot of money, but at the other side, you may lose it. Wow. So you're not going to put all your money in cryptocurrency. It's very risky.
this explains why it's only part of that billionaire family. That when you're in, then you must be one of those billionaires in that family called the cryptocurrency.
That's a very like a fairy tale. You think that billionaires go with cryptocurrency? No.
Well, there's a few to name that have really.
That's the difference between billionaires and ordinary people. Those billionaires, they usually put their extra money, they invest their extra money, and they work with that extra money. And they're ready to lose that extra money. If they lose that extra money, it's not their whole money.
No, they're just playing.
It's just like a very small amount of their money, it's extra. They're not gonna gamble on that, on their whole like assets. It's just extra, and they work with that extra. And if they make money on that extra, they bring it to their wealth. They add it to their wealth. And they work with that extra money. They don't risk their whole money. So that's the difference. And I've seen people when they go to cryptocurrency, let's say, and they're making money, they think that that's going to be the trend forever, and the next day they're gonna make more. So they put all their assets in cryptocurrency, and the next day, if the market crashes, they have lost all their money. and the next day they're going to be the poor people, like a person.
I've even seen cryptocurrency tellers, machines on Bathurst Street, and also Miami is running a whole kind of town there, just running on cryptocurrency. And the more you infuse and put a structure there, I know our governing body, our prime minister, has not invested our money in such a thing, and it's reflected.
Because, as I said, it's not a regulated one. Nobody knows anything about, no regulation in cryptocurrency, no regulations. When we are talking about insurance, there are regulations, there are regulating bodies. So the government controls that. I mean, it's like banks. You put your, like as a client, I put my money there, and I want the guarantee, and this guarantee should be given when I need it. So the government is like watching it. If
That's
you
not to
just
say-
keeping your promise.
That's not to say that the governing body and the billionaires within Canada have not respectfully invested this country to other countries outside. It is happening, but this is like the connection that we have. Our country is being turned into a corporation, but not anything to do, like you're saying, with that game that they're playing. It's not to do with the cryptocurrency. That's more like the states and other, regulatory billionaires that have kind of invested, but it's not our Canadian dollar. So we don't have to worry about being insured. With this GoFundMe thing is an American, again, it's American. And if you want anything to do with the source of cryptocurrency, again, it's being run out of Houston, Texas, and New York. Again, it's not to do with the Canadian, but you invest in your insurance, in your wealth, in your health with the Canadian, but you're also saying it's again, franchise with the American. Where is the source coming from, this insurance company that you're working for?
Well, it's an American company, but again, they have this notion. They have like Canadian like version of that, which is like everything is set based on Canadian tax system, Canadian like financial system. It's again all about like how you prioritize your protection. First, as I said, you need to have good protection on your own, because you are the source of the income. So if anything happens to you, let's say you're making, I don't know, $5,000 a month, right? So this is the income source. So what happens to you if you become sick and you cannot make that money anymore? What happens if you, God forbid, you die? What happens to the family? The income source is not there anymore. It is a reality.
Yeah, but what about this caveat emptor, this caveat in the works right now with people who have been vaccinated and the, let's say Pfizer, they're not responsible. Canada is different. It's a Commonwealth country, but when it comes to the Confederation and the United States of America, they have different rules. Now, which rules are you governed by with your insurance company?
We are governed by the Canadian rules.
Awesome.
So it's a two different worlds.
Yes.
Those clients in the States are governed by the state rules. The Canadian clients are ruled by Canadian regulations.
That's very
So
good.
that's totally different. Yeah, different. So we are helping our clients here in Canada based on what we have here, because like in the state they don't have RSP, they have something else similar to us or more products. So we are talking about RSP here, TFSA here. They don't have TFSA in the States, so they have something else. So we go by the Canadian products, we go by the Canadian regulations, and we recommend Canadian clients based on what we have here in Canada.
So these are very loose terms right now. But is there any kind of limitations to somebody who has been fully vaccinated versus to a non-vaccinated person? Does their health insurance differ, especially when, okay, I guess they wouldn't be allowed to fly or go anywhere, but when it comes to their health, let's say they get hemorrhagic bleeding or some kind of, fever that's going on due to some kind of rare virus, so what do we do? Are they, and they paid into the health insurance, and all of a sudden they get these symptoms and they start hemorrhagic bleeding, for instance, and that's very kind of serious there. What would you do? I know Canada offers hospitalization and health care to a certain limit. Now, where does the insurance take place, and what is it that you're able to offer them, let's say, after they've been vaccinated versus if they haven't been vaccinated?
Well, this is like when it comes to the insurance, there are some uh, specific definitions. So it's not very like I don't know, like you cannot say those who are vaccinated or those who are not vaccinated because the definition is there. So once we offer or recommend insurance product, all the definitions there. There are a bunch of questions they're going to ask you. When it comes insurance, when it comes to insurance or health insurance, uh, let's say if I have diabetes, I cannot get insurance because insurance is like for people who are healthy right now, and it's for unpredictable.
So if you're perfectly healthy and all of a sudden, let's say you've been vaccinated and you get really sick, hemorrhagic bleeding and all these things, are you insured?
They're insured, yeah.
Okay.
If
So
it's
you
like
go after,
if the insurance product coverage that like COVID related things,
right?
and based on the like policy, the definition of the policy, you have to go to the definition, and then the definition tells you if you're covered or not. But before you buy that product, you have the definition. You know what you're buying. So let's say we have something like critical illness. Critical illness, we have the definitions. What is critical illness? So if you're buying critical illness policy or insurance, so you know what you're buying. Critical illness usually like protects you against like heart-related issues, cancer-related issues. So you know like this critical illness is for that purposes. If you want to get the protection for, let's say, COVID-related things, so there are products that covers you for COVID-related things. So it's all about like what kind of protection you want, what kind of protection you need, if you can afford it, if you need it at all. So sometimes you don't need it. So why, once you don't need it, you want to get it?
Okay, so can you quickly take us through like one scenario and how much, if you can, they would be looking at to invest and monthly and just kind of a scenario case?
Well, it depends because there are a lot of thousands of insurance companies out there with thousands of products designed for different scenarios, for different situations, for different things. So I cannot tell you like this much per month gonna cover you for this and this and this. We have to, as I said, we do have need analysis. We have to sit and do the need analysis to see what you do need and what your main concerns are. For some people, their main concerns are, let's say, income. They don't want to lose that income because everything else in their life is based on their income. So we have income guarantee, which you pay today. In any case you have, let's say, any like, I don't know, accident or any sickness, and then you cannot work anymore, then you're covered and they're going to pay you for that period. So the source of income keeps coming, even if you become sick and you're not able to work anymore. Some people want, like death benefit in case like they died, the family, the wife and the kids are protected and covered.
It's like 2,500 automatic from the government, right?
Well, yeah, like let's say like in my own
Up
case,
to.
like a few months ago, I was not feeling well. As I was lying on bed, I said, "Oh man, if I die today, what's gonna happen to my mom?" Because I'm just like I pay for her expenses. So I said, if I die today, what's gonna happen to my mom? She's gonna be like her whole life gonna be ruined. Nobody there to protect her. No one, no food on the table, no roof on her head. So nothing. It's just like she's left alone, and the life gonna be tough, you know. So that was my main concern. So if anything happens to me, that can happen. There's no guarantee that I'm that's not going to happen. So if that happens, what's going to happen to my mom? That was my main concern. So everyone has different concerns. So we have to sit and talk what the main concerns are.
Well, my thing was that when I was talking to you last, I discovered that, okay, my mother passed away, and I decided to remove the insurance because I didn't really think I needed it. And then I was faced with a severe special assessment of $38,000 that I have to come up with like yesterday, January 31st. And now I'm facing having to move out because I would rather do that than go down a sinking ship like the Titanic, right? And so I'm thinking, why not just go with this motion and find another place and put this place for sale? But had I known that your company, Kazem, offers this in the home insurance, is it that you can kind of expand on that it would cover me? Now it's a little too late, but for next time, even to know how I would go about getting this kind of insurance. Can you please help me?
Yeah, as I explained to you, like we talk on the phone, there was this an insurance, condo insurance. We have something called assessment. That like actually the corporate, there's a corporate, the main insurance for the whole condo building
Special
that they
assessment.
cover. They cover for the building itself, and then every single unit owner should get his or her condo insurance. And that we have something that covers the assessment cost. As in your case, you had this assessment cost, and if you had that insurance, condo insurance, you were covered, and the insurance company would pay for that assessment cost.
Well,
Yeah,
I didn't really want to remove my mother's name from this deed.
it's all about when it comes to insurance. I tell you,
Right?
until it doesn't happen to us, we don't believe it. That's why we say like we should work on the belief system. We see a house on a fire and we say, oh, this is the neighbor's house, not my house. But is there any guarantee that's not going to happen to my house? We don't know.
I didn't want to let go of my mother, basically. I'm still having a hard time getting rid of her things. And if I thought to myself, well, I got my father off the deed from the previous place, and I did it on my own. Now you actually need a lawyer because it's all done electronically. You can't go down to the atrium where the registrar's office is and do it yourself. That was back in 2007, I believe. That they stopped doing that, but I actually got rid of my father's name and then sold the place, but he was on the deed for the longest time with my mother. And I'm thinking, well, why can't I still have her on here? So I decided no, this is as much her place as it is mine. And until I decide to either rent, or which requires another type of insurance that you can go into, or sell the place altogether and deal with it when the selling of the place happens. So this is why I couldn't really get insurance. Had I known about the special assessment, I would have done it right away.
That's something that, again, uh, to be prepared for unpredictable. You didn't predict that happens.
No, I thought I'd be here for the longest time, right? Until I
Yeah.
probably fell
And
in
if you
love or
had,
got married.
and had you prepared, and had you prepared for that unpredictable,
Like getting
then it would
married, right?
come.
My wishful thinking was like not that. It was like more elated, like something towards like I'm gonna fall in love and just upgrade. What do you call it? Expand instead of downsizing, upsizing. But you know what? I'm tired of that. No, I'm gonna go with it, and I'm gonna do it on my own without falling in love. I'm gonna have this as my motivating principle, and just kind of, you know what, reality is here, and I have to forget about waiting for somebody, waiting around for somebody to come around and get married and do all these things, right? I'm going on 52 now.
So in insurance, we say the only heart that beats for you is your own heart.
Right, so gotta kind of face reality a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So you should have the protection for yourself first, no matter what. So let's say in management, this is my background. In management, we say, look, once you plan for your, let's say your business, you should plan for two scenarios, actually a few scenarios, but at least for the two most extreme scenarios. The worst case,
In the best
best
case.
case.
You
So
know, I don't
whatever
want to chase
happens,
people away either.
yeah, and whatever happens is going to happen in between two scenarios.
Well, I
So
don't
you
want to
are
be like,
prepared.
I don't want to be in a situation where, look at me, I'm a victim, please save me, and expect someone to come in and save me. No, I was expecting the best, like falling in love and kind of these kind of things, but not to scare somebody, like, oh, help me, you know. No, so in this case scenario, I have to do it on my own.
Yeah, you have to be prepared for all the scenarios, you know. That's the reality of
Oh,
our life.
yes.
We
So
always
somebody,
we always say in insurance that this is like insurance is about peace of mind. Once someone gets the insurance, we say it's good to you have it, but we hope that you never use it.
okay, so Kazem, I just came to you with my personal issue so that you just don't keep going in a general format.
Right.
So what, how could you help me? How could you help me to come up with $38,000 and cover that? Let's say I was already covered for a special assessment. How much would I have been covered for anyway? Would I have been covered for that $40,000?
If you had the insurance based on the coverage, yeah, you could be like covered for that. So the insurance company would pay for that 30 or 40 or something.
Well, how much would I have to pay for to be covered on that kind of scale of money?
Usually, I'm gonna tell you this is an average. Because that's all depends on the building, the value of the building, and the condition of the building. If it's an old building, it's everything has been renovated, the plumbing, everything. You know, it's all assessment. The insurance company looks at your place as a risk. And if they want to take that risk, they have to study that risk. They will definitely ask you about the year the building was built, the condition of the building, the condition of your unit, the plumbing, the everything, because it's a risk and they have to know what risk they're taking. But it's hard to say because we have houses like cost $1 million in Toronto, and we have houses that are cheap. So basically, the premium is different. There are also neighborhoods that the risk are of something happening to the building is higher than the other neighborhood. So the premium for that neighborhood is a little bit higher.
I'll give
There
you a hint.
are
I'll give you a hint here so that we go right to the main source here. My car insurance. I paid $2,000 for a 2011 car, and so that's a high as far as I'm $2,000 a year because I pay the full amount I don't pay it monthly or quarterly, otherwise it would be higher. So that
Right.
kind of gives you an idea, because the home insurance is also tied in with the auto, if I'm not mistaken, right?
My expectation is that your condo insurance would be around maybe, let's say, something between, I don't know, maybe $2,000 or less, like $1,000, 1,500 or $2,000, something
For
around that for the whole year.
1970, I think it was built in 1970.
So it would be around that. My expectation is around that amount.
And would it cover would it cover this special assessment that I'm referring to?
This is part of the condo insurance. Yeah, every condo insurance has a part of the assessment. Yeah.
And you know what? I'd be getting a discount on my car insurance, right? I didn't know all of this. I had no idea. I would have done it because that's really nothing.
That's why we say that people in common insurance, people don't have enough knowledge about them. We do need to sit and talk and give the education first. No, because like I'm talking to clients every day, even for the car insurance. Everyone thinks that they know about the car insurance. No, there are a lot of things involved in the car insurance. People don't know about it.
Well, because I didn't want to let go of my mother.
Yeah, for people, they go with the premium. Oh, this premium is lower, that premium is higher, so this is better, that is not good. But it's not. We say like some people, like let's say I want to get the car insurance, so I go with the cheapest one. So we say that company gives you this much of insurance. And you don't know that they're giving you this much of insurance with that premium. You think that car insurance is a package. So it's the same package in every company. And then this company is expensive, that company is cheaper. No. If you see like car insurance is cheap, they give you this much of insurance. Otherwise, like some companies, if they're like their premium is higher, they give you more coverage. So let's say about the car insurance, a lot of things are in the car insurance. If you, like God forbid, you have an accident, so you want to be like, let's say your car is a brand new car. It's, let's say 2022, and right away when you get it from the car dealership, 30% going to be depreciated from right away. Like if you decide that you want to sell it, the price going to be depreciated 30%.
Right.
Every year we have the depreciation. I had a case. There is a benefit. There is a feature that you pay not too much per year, and you get this feature that if your car is a brand new car or is just 1 year old car, and you get into an accident and your car is totaled, the insurance company will not factor in the depreciation. They pay you exactly the amount you paid to get that car. Let's say you paid $40,000 to buy that car, and 2 years later you have an accident and your car is totaled. So if you want to consider the present date, like the value of your car to the today, that's not $40,000. That's been depreciated. That goes to maybe $28,000. But having that feature, the insurance company gives you $40,000.
Yeah, but you're not going to be, I know a lot of people are smart and business savvy. And if they want to drive around a Bentley or, a Rolls Royce, well, then they rent it. But I see a lot of BMWs out there, like it's over, I don't know, over and above the Mercedes. But then, this is what happens. Mine is a Honda. And I kind of wonder sometimes, because I've had so much hate crime. I parked at the No Frills, and I had somebody this was in 2016 during Veterans November something 11. You know, it was really dark and dreary, and somebody just put some religious like a swastika, I don't know, it was like a cross or something right where my gas tank to go and put the gas in, and right from that end of the quarter hind panel all the way to the side, scratched with their keys really deep, all the way to the front of the quarter panel of my driver's side, and they really made a mess of my car. This was hate crime. And this is why insurance kind of has to do their work and say, no, you got to pay more because you're in a kind of, neighborhood that's gonna, and I wasn't even there. I was shopping somewhere else and this happened because people don't like to see, especially a woman, or I don't know what it was,
No, actually,
drive a car like,
when it comes to auto insurance, you might be covered for vandalism. This is
Yes.
kind of vandalism.
Oh, yes.
So you may be covered, yeah.
My
That's,
car's so many different colors of blue now. It looks really amazing what it's gone through, right? And it has its own little empowerment going on.
as I said, even the car insurance is a complicated thing. Like there are a lot of things involved in car insurance that people don't know.
Hate crime. There's a lot of hate crime. Even if I don't wash my car on a regular basis and it's so dirty, people will smash it up. They will scratch it up even more. I don't know what it is. Even when it's parked, people want to like spit on it and do all these things. And I'm thinking, what is this?
Let's say hit and run. There is coverage for that. You get an accident and you don't know, like the guy just like leaves. You don't know who, you don't have any like so there are coverage for that. So that's why we say like insurance, car insurance is not a package. People look at it as a package. No, when you see a car insurance cheaper, then they strip like the benefits and the coverage to a very, very, very basic thing. That's why it's so cheap.
Well, right now,
then the question is like, if you like, when it comes to car insurance, we ask people, would you like when you get into accident and you don't know who just like hit your car, would you like to be covered, or you don't want to be covered? So that's a question. In your case, would you like to be covered if someone comes and do that to your car, or you don't want to be covered? So that's gonna like affect the premium.
It's really amazing because when I first I've had my car now for like 9 years, but when I first started driving it, there was hardly any cars of that kind looking around, and it was like just sticking out like a BMW would, right? The way it looked so nice that others wanted to have it and they couldn't. So they even tried to steal it on a few occasions. But now there's so many of them, just like mine, that the insurance would be so low and I wouldn't even have to worry about it. But when you first
also,
buy a
like
car,
you mentioned theft is there. So if you want to be covered, if your car is stolen,
you think I was in New York?
Yeah. Today, because I know a lot of Lexus are stolen. A lot of people having Lexus.
Mine is a Honda, very basic, like everybody has one now, especially like this one.
But that happens, that happens. So it's a question if you want to be covered or you don't want to be covered. So that's a question that's gonna tell you how much the premium gonna be.
Anyway, that's very important to consider with house or condo insurance, and how even getting winter tires actually makes a difference. And if you want to put like a direction chip in, that also makes a difference. And there's many write-offs that you can have, like advertisement, logos, and things on your car.
Right.
But one more important thing is your home insurance. And that will automatically decrease the amount of money you would be paying for car.
And I can tell you more than important than that is the insurance on yourself.
Oh, I didn't even, exactly, right? Yeah. 6 feet or 6 meter, I don't know what it is, 2 feet apart now.
Because all those things, car insurance, home insurance, it's all can be there once you're there. once you can then make the money. If you cannot make the money, if the income is not coming, then all is gone.
So how would I ensure, how much would it cost for defamation of character and identity theft, to put that as like, is it like a la carte that I can pick and choose? Do you offer that kind of packages a la carte?
Actually, like there is a questionnaire based on the information you provide us. We can just go and see like what the premium gonna be. So it's just not like a simple question that how much gonna be. It's a question, like, I mean, there are a lot of questions involved to answer that simple question.
Okay, so you know, Kazem, I want to have you on here again, and specifically like to talk about more like focused topics, exactly what you offer, like some you know, samples of case scenarios of how you would go, like a package, how much you could offer, and then people can reach out and say, this is the package, this is what I want, I'm interested, I do have the money, because you can give a rough ballpark how much they would be looking at and what they can afford. And yes, in closing, what would you like to
what I
say?
can, I'm not gonna promise, but we'll look into it, because we are at our office, we are planning to have webinars, like to give the education, the free education about this. So maybe if possible, I will talk to you later, and we're gonna have this kind of webinars to give the education, the free education to your viewers. So that can be done, yeah. So we can talk about this, and your viewers can just get the information they need.
Well, I can post it. I can post it anywhere you'd like, on my social media, on my profile page, and see how many people would be interested. I can do that. Yes, absolutely. And for now, if people want to reach out to you, I guess it would be your Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Kazem, KAZEM .BAYAT.7. And also they can find you, it says website here, Kazem before. What's that about?
That's my email address, kazembefore@yahoo.ca. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's KAZEM4@yahoo.ca. Is that?
Yeah, for Canada. Yeah.
Oh, is that's your email address?
That's my personal email address. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other?
And then my phone number, I'm gonna just leave it. It's 647-615-5148. If anyone had a question, more than glad to answer the questions.
Well, a lot of people nowadays would prefer to do texting. Is this like also text?
Yeah, they can text me as well. As soon as I get the text and I have time, I'll respond. Definitely.
And if they Facebook friend you, I suppose you can chat with them on Messenger as well?
Yep, Messenger, yeah.
Okay. And is there any other place like they can reach out to, like, I don't know, Laura, and then ask for you or something? Any other website that they might want to look at your firm?
Well, that's actually like our office like website.
Yes.
theinsurancehouse.ca. It's www.theinsurancehouse.ca.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay, great. And then they'll be able to know more about what you offer there.
Well, they can see like the services we are offering, but then again, as I said, we are planning to have webinars, especially on like a World Circle, to educate people, not on insurance, but like on, as you said, on investment, or on how to manage their wealth, how to keep the money within the family, how to know where they are losing money unknowingly and unnecessarily, and finding this money and putting it back on the table.
Well, So
so
how
they
are they
can.
doing it? Can you please explain a little bit?
It's a process actually. It's not cannot be explained, but it's a process. As I said, it comes with the webinar, and then we ask questions, and then we find a way, like we find where not everyone is losing the money the same place. I mean, like we have to find where they're losing the money
Is this one whole
without
topic
knowing
on
that.
its own? Is this like one complete topic on its own for each one?
It's going to be not just one session, it's going to be a few sessions to talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. And okay, so I absolutely want to have you on here again, my friend, if that's something for you. That
Sure.
we can discuss on each topic, like what topic you want to talk about, because wealth management is that's just gonna take us on for hours on end, right?
Yeah. That's a very important thing, because we do believe, as our belief system, that people should know and have the knowledge about the financial status of their life. So people should know about the financial stuff. And we are educating people on that. That's very important, because people losing money when they don't know the rules of the game, they lose money.
Kazem, is there a difference between the meanings here, the words that when we use, I am rich or I am wealthy? Is there a difference between being rich or wealthy?
Well, I can tell you that rich is having money. By having money, you're rich. Yeah. But wealthy for me is just knowing how to make the money, how to make the wealth. Rich, you can just inherit and inherit money from your parents. Then you become rich. But that doesn't mean necessarily that you know how to manage your wealth. Uh, Wealth for me has a deeper meaning. It's not just like having money. It's all about making money.
So it's, in other words, is the same as saying, what is the difference between wisdom and just being clever? Being rich is like being clever. It could be very dangerous, whereas being wealthy is like being wise. Correct?
That's yeah. That's that's exactly about it.
And in closing, is there something that you wish to part with us here, the audience?
Well, as I mentioned during this, it's good to get the education. Once you want to make a decision, it's better to get the education, to have the knowledge, and to make a wise decision. That's very important.
Okay, with that said, I thank you so very much. It's been a wealth of information, and I'm hoping that one day, very soon, we can go deeper into this and discuss some more, my friend Kazem Bayat. Thank you. It's been an honor and a blessing to have you here.
And thank you very much for taking your time. I really enjoyed it. Thank you. Have a good day.